And we're welcoming you to this edition of the debates, of this kind of debates for members of parliament, candidates for TESO. We have had a number of them, 3 so far. This will be the 4th one. I want to take this opportunity to say, Emuria Koliai, Neja Site Sokere, Ido Emuria Kolia, Neja Sina Chananwo Yeli Kumama, Ebale Be, Kumam Nyai, Ara Ponemopon, Konyaji Mobale Ponemopon. Yala Mapunere Kere, thank you for coming. My name is Grace Amoding. Many know me as Mama G. I work with the TESO Broadcasting Services, TBS Radio. I do a morning show, Twende Kazi Lewo, that runs from 6 in the once in a while, when called upon, I do the artists as well. So I am privileged And I want to welcome all of you who have managed to spare your time to come here and listen to this debate. This debate is organized by a team of journalists in TESO, Force, under the Association of Force, that's TESO Journalists for Community Empowerment. Our main objective is to see that the people that we serve, the community gets information, most especially at a time such as this, where as a country going into an election, which happens after every 5 years. On 15th of January this very year, we'll be going into a general election. And so we thought it wise that our people that we serve, our listeners in different platforms, get to listen ideas from their candidates who intend to represent them in Parliament. And so represented here under the Task Force Association of Journalists is TESO TV. We also have Emoria TV represented here. We have Joe Care TV represented here. TESO Investigation Unit is here. We have Top Radio is represented here. We also have TBS Radio is represented here. Delta Radio is represented here, and Serere FM is represented here. And so others. This debate will be broadcast live on social media platforms that have read. These are online televisions, but also other radio stations will be broadcasting this debate live. So it's going to be the people who are listening to our, those who are not here, those who you intend to represent in Parliament will be able to hear the ideas as you exchange them on this platform. I also want to take this opportunity to welcome all the dignitaries who have joined us, who are here. One of them is Mr. Peter Lochom. Mr. Peter Lochom, thank you for coming through and thank you for being here this evening. Peter Lochom is the principal founder, Citizen Accord Party, and he's here. He joined us to listen to what candidates are going to be talking about in this platform this evening. And I want to take this opportunity, our time is already far spent, 12 minutes after 9. I want to take this opportunity to invite the moderators to take their seats as we kick off the debates. Thank you. She holds National Unity Platform ticket. Sandra comes from Ateta Sub-County, Ochwin Village, Ateta Parish, that's in Serere District. Educational background, she holds a bachelor's degree in information technology, which she obtained from Gulu University. Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education, A-level from Chisuvi High School. Uganda Certificate of Education, O-level from Kamonkoli College. Primary Living Examination, she sat in Canon Ibula Primary School. Her work experience, as a social worker, she actively engaged in community development and social welfare initiatives with a focus on empowering practitioner. She's also experienced in business and entrepreneurship, promoting income-generating activities and economic empowerment. Welcome, candidate Chilet Sandra. We also have candidate Apollo Susan. Let me follow the order. We have candidate Opal Margaret Oimatum. I want to follow their sitting order. Candidate Paul Margaret Oimatum is an independent candidate, and she is a seasoned leader. She's an educator, community development practitioner, and a committed Christian, born and raised in Olua Village, Okidi Parish, Pingire Sub-County, Serere District in February 1974. She is a born-again, mature, and devoted Christian with a strong faith and an active preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ. She is happily married to Reverend Canon Dr. Samuel Opol of Ongobai, Osuguro, Olio, Serere, and together they were blessed, or they have been blessed with 5 children. Academic and professional background of candidate Margaret Alupo Oimatum Paul. Margaret has a strong academic foundation, having studied at Olua Kasilo Primary School, Madera Girls Primary School, Mbale Secondary School, Wanyenge Girls Secondary School, Uganda Christian University, and Uganda Management Institute. She holds a Master's of Management Studies, Financial Management Specialization, a postgraduate diploma in Financial Management, a Bachelor's of Business Administration First Class Honors, and diplomas in Business Management or Administration and Sales Management and Marketing. Key community engagements and leadership roles that she has undertaken include, she's a co-founder and director, Peak Heritage Foundation since 2009, supporting vulnerable women and children with over 200 orphans and vulnerable children benefiting. Co-founder and director, Heritage Education Center, a day and boarding nursery and primary school in Serere District since 2010. She's also coordinator at Dukutu Aberu Women's Association, a rural women's self-help network with 230 members and 15 affiliate groups since 2019. She's a board member, Village to Village Project, a compassion-focused community initiative from 2018 up to date. She's a chairperson PTA Serere Secondary School from 2017 up to date. She's also vice chairperson and member, Board of Governors, Serere Secondary School, member and vice chairperson, Finance Committee, Board of Governors, Ngora High School since 2021. Founding chairperson, Serere United Farmers Cooperative Society Limited, focusing on livestock, apiculture, and aquaculture since 2021. Active involvement in numerous church and ministry engagements locally and internationally. Welcome, candidate Margaret Alupo Oimatum Opol. Before us, we also have Please bear with us a little. We also have candidate Abulo Agnes from the Democratic Front. Candidate Abulo Agnes is a resident of Kasilo Town Council in the village of Kamod. She holds a diploma in entrepreneurship development and is currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship and small business management. Agnes is passionate about entrepreneurship, business growth, and empowering small enterprises to succeed. She is married and committed to personal development, education, and contributing positively to her community through business and entrepreneurship initiatives. Candidate Abulo Agnes, you're welcome and thank you for coming. Before us, we have our candidates Achom Esther Lucy, we have an independent candidate Achom Esther Lucy, just a moment as I get her profile. Candidate Esther Lucy Achom, an independent candidate. Her education from the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, she got a CPA level 1. That was on September 2023. Level 2, 3, and 4 ongoing. Bachelor's of Business Administration in Accounting at Ndejo University on October 2022. She also studied at Nile Institute of Management Studies, Arua, where she obtained a diploma in stenography. On December 2010, she was awarded a certificate in stenography on December 2008. She studied Serere Senior Secondary School for her UCE in 2007. And she sat her PLE in Ochokodoro Primary School. That was in 2003. Her experience: Achom Esther Lucy has experience including she worked in Amugoli General Enterprises Limited as a site administrator or cashier, supporting timely, accurate monthly cash requests and reconciliations, monitoring petty cash and balance, accounting for all petty cash expenditures and filling cash transactions, ensuring payments, are made in time for workers. She's a member, Kampala City Traders Association, that's CACITA, from 2023 to present. Welcome, candidate Apollo Susan. Our dear audience, I want to take this opportunity to hand this moment and microphone to the moderators. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, MC, and thank you so much, our technical team. Thank you, the candidates, for turning up. Thank you so much, the audience. We take this moment to apologize for our poor time management, but we understand that our candidates are in the final serious moments, so we beg that you understand that. Nevertheless, we are here. We, as Teju Force, we are very honored to host these debates, and the biggest issue in these debates is to offer platform for meaningful participation such that our leaders can discuss issues, can present their issues to the voters. We want to thank our chairperson, Opio Emmanuel, the chairperson of Teju Force, that is TESO Journalists for Community Empowerment, for supporting this and the entire technical team. My name is Peterson Hiria, and I will be the lead moderator with my colleague, Stephen Ojachol. Today's debate will focus on women's leadership, gender equality, service delivery, accountability, inclusive development in Serere district. We shall give you opportunity as well to ask, this is what we call crossfire. You'll ask yourself a question, your colleagues a question, and then we shall also have questions from the audience later on. And let me go through a few rules in the interest of time. One, each candidate will be given equal time to respond to questions. Candidates must address the question asked, and they should avoid personal attacks. The moderators may interrupt only to enforce time or to enforce clarity. That is interrogation, maybe if the answers are not clear. No interruptions while another candidate is speaking. Respectful language is required at all times. The debate will cover a number of thematic areas, like I did mention before. Candidates may be given a right to reply where necessary. For example, if there is an accusation made or an allegation, there is a right to reply. We shall give that. We shall as well give you 3 minutes to answer some of the questions, but some maybe 2 minutes, depending. I want to thank you, candidates, for turning up. There are some others who have not turned up. Maybe they're on the way. For now, we cannot say they have failed to turn up. You never know in the next 2 minutes. But what we know is that it's not easy to brave and attend a debate. We've had debates here. I think this is the first time that we kick off when candidates are missing. We're already late, but by the fact that they're not here, maybe they have chickened out. But we want to give it a benefit of doubt in the next 5 minutes, maybe 1 or 2. Maybe they'll be here. I hand over now to Stephen, and Stephen will be now taking you through the manifesto questions. What do you intend? That's a general question for all of you, but that is for Stephen. I'll get back later on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peterson. I welcome everybody to this debate. And without wasting time, the questions are going to be directed to all the candidates. We are going to have the first set of questions that you will both respond as an introduction, but it focuses on your manifesto. I would like to start with the first candidate. That is Honorable Akiting Deborah. You are the candidate.
Yes.
For the woman member of parliament for Serere.
That's true.
What pushes you to contest, and why do you think the people of Serere should trust you?
Okay, I don't know whether I should really start speaking while seated or I need to respect by standing up. What are the rules?
You have liberty to sit. We know you have been from the campaign and you are tired, and that's why we give you honor to sit.
Thank you so much. I want to take this opportunity to first appreciate all the organizers for bringing us to this place, and we have a common understanding. And I want to promise you that we shall obey the rules and regulations that are supposed to be here. My name is Akiteng Deborah. Like I've always said, a woman member of parliament aspirant, and a national speaker or a former national speaker of the student nurses and midwives, and following my experience, most especially on the side of leadership, I feel I am the person that is fit to be on that seat. And also looking at the sole responsibilities a woman member of parliament is supposed to have, I feel I'm the one who has the real qualities, most especially when it comes to the lawmaking part, which involves the debating bit of it. When you go to the representation, we really need someone who is very vocal, and that's the reason as to why I am actually here. When you look at the oversight, the monitoring of the government activities, I have been a manager in different places, and I really feel I am the best person to do the monitoring part. And when you look at the constituency part of it, engagement with the community, yes, I am a comprehensive nurse, but I also have other expertise in social networking. And by so doing, I really feel I am the person that is fit for the position. However, I want to go straight to the people of Serere and all the listeners who are here, that this platform is giving us a chance to really explain my manifesto, and so that you can understand it very well and get a true leader. I really want to thank you once more. However, when it comes to my manifesto, I am a media personality, and I've worked in radio stations. I have used my talent severally in different places, even way back when I was still studying. And being a media personality, a radio presenter, one of the things that are pushing me so much to come to the public and say that no, I need to be a leader, because I want really to improve the talent of the people of Serere and also Eastern at large, because a leader does not only represent the district but also represents the rest of the people in the country. And I want to improve the talent sector in Serere district and Eastern at large. And how do I want to do it? I want us to bring at least an entertainment center in Serere. I want us to bring closer these people who are trying to come up with talent, and bringing the acting industry also around, when people act movies, comedies, and the rest of the things.
Thank you.
Am I being stopped or something?
Yes.
Yes,
and
please.
I can give you 30 minutes to sum up.
Oh, later on.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yes, you can summarize your statement in 30 seconds.
Summarizing my manifesto, because the manifesto is really large. Okay, let the entertaining part maybe pass by. But when it comes to my professional skills, being a nurse, I feel I am the one who is able to raise the local man out there, because I understand what is meant to be in a hospital, what the hospital needs, because I have 10-year experience in the hospital. And then the last bit of it, maybe, because I know...
I will cut you short.
Okay.
because of time, but I'm sure you will find
Shall
where
say
to
come
accommodate it
Okay, please.
in
No
the,
problem.
in
Thank
the
you
next
so much.
questions to come. The timekeeper is Mr. Jonas Anothike, and he's right in front of us here. Each one of you is given 3 minutes for self-introduction, and I hope you will use it. The other questions to follow, you will be given an ample time, still of 3 minutes each. That takes me to the Honorable Susan Apolot. Honorable Susan, you're welcome. And why do you think you're the best candidate for the position of the woman member of parliament in Serere? And why do you think the people of Serere should trust you?
Good evening, viewers, and thank you very much for coming to watch this debate. I would like to thank our moderators. Thank you so much. And my team, Team Apollo, thanks for coming. Susan, my profile has already been read, and I've been asked why do I think I will be the best candidate to represent Serere district in the 12th Parliament. Susan has had an exposure, both local and international. And we became a district in 2011. Literally, we are about 16 years old as a district after being separated from Soroti district. So when I look at Serere district, and it is now called a town council, when I looked at the services that are actually being rendered to the people of Serere, I feel the services are too inadequate. And I'm not very satisfied with the current leadership. If you looked at how other town councils are growing, medically, economically, education, sanitation, and then electrification, all those are the ones that pushed me to pull up my socks and say, now I am going to vie for the position of Serere to represent them in the next parliament so that I can be able to lobby and to represent the people of Serere so that we can have a better Serere and revive the glory of Serere so that it can look like other town councils and other districts. That is what pushed me. Inadequate of services that we are currently seeing in Serere. We don't have any tarmac roads in Serere. For us to be identified that we are from Serere, we must appear with the dust. When you look at our roads, we don't have any tarmac. And those are the things I want to go and challenge government. Why would they give us a district status? Right from 2011, up to now we don't have any tarmac road. When you look at the issue of power, our power goes on and off. Our power goes on and off. And yet the government told us in 2024 that the Karuma Dam was producing a lot of power and the national grid was getting a lot of power. We should be able to benefit even the rural people. But in Serere, we don't have enough power. So we are yet to talk.
Thank you.
Briefly, those are the issues that pushed me to get up and contest for this position. And as you see, I feel I am the best candidate for this position. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, For those who are following from our different platforms, Teso Vibes, Emuria TV, Discover the Beauty of Teso, Teso Media Group, and so many other platforms. You will be free to continue chatting with us through the comment section, and later we shall be able to deliver your questions to the candidates so that you can be part of this debate. And this debate focuses on communicating through digital platforms, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. I want to go to Honorable Ichulet. Get hold of the microphone. Honorable Ichulet.
Yes, please.
Why do you think the people of Serere should really send you to Parliament to represent them? And what is that gap you've seen in Serere that pushes you to think you're the right solution?
Thank you, everyone. Good evening to you all. Ichuet Sandra is my name. Aspiring candidate for Serere District, Suman MP, and a NOOP. So I bring you greetings from His Excellency, my President, and your President, Mr. Bobi Wine. I stand for that young man who has that. I stand for that young man, a father and a mother, and all those ones who are down. We all know that most people deep down the villages are being neglected. I am standing for that woman who is neglected, that woman who has largely depended on the lake, and right now her right is being taken away from her. I stand for the old. We all know that the old people are not given opportunity. The old people are not cared for. Everybody runs for the women. So I am here to represent those old women in the villages. I also stand for that young man, a young girl whose parents have died in the lakes, and there is no one who has remembered them. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being disciplined by using your time very well. And I implore the other candidates to do the same. I want to go to Honorable Alupo. She's just right next to you. Honorable Alupo.
Yes, please.
You are one of those candidates asking the people of Serere to send you to Parliament. What are the gaps you've seen in Serere that make you feel you can be the right leader to solve them?
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers and all the listeners who are listening to us. I would like to thank the organizers for giving us the opportunity. Again, my name is Margaret Alupo Oyematumo Paul. I am seeking the mandate of the people of Serere to represent them in Parliament as their next woman member of Parliament. The theme of my manifesto that is driving me really hard is unity, transparency, and effective representation of the people of Serere. As I step forward with courage and conviction to represent the people of Serere, my journey is guided by what I have just shared as the theme, which is the motto, unity, transparency, and effective representation. Now, as a candidate who is vying for the position of woman member of Parliament, my vision for Serere districts is a united citizenry of Serere. I would like to see the people of Serere unite. We have taken so long fighting, divided, and not looking at each other as deserving the services in Serere. I would like to bring to the people of Serere the leadership that pulls them together. Let the people get united. Let the leaders get united. I will offer leadership that listens, that uplifts, and that empowers the people regardless of background or belief. My political career is founded on trust, is founded on transparency, accountability, and I would like to be a real true voice of the people of Serere. To represent people in Parliament, one ought to be able to carry along with them the aspirations of the people, the needs of the people, the dreams of the people, and that is what I really envision, to be able to carry with me to Parliament, not my own dreams. I would like to embody the leadership that is trustworthy and accountable to the people. And my goals for these campaigns, why I would like to be sent to Parliament, one, I have said, uniting the people of Serere. That will be one of the voices I'll keep advocating for. Two, transparency, leadership that is trustworthy. And three, I will voice the needs and the dreams of the people. I pledge to participate in Parliament, in the committees, in debates, to make policies and investigate and inquire into the matters of public concern in Serere District. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Margaret, for your submission. I will not be the judge, but the people of Serere, I am sure, will get satisfied from this debate tonight. Honorable Achom, Esther Lucy, you're one of those candidates at the race of the Serere woman member of Parliament seat. Why do you think you're the best candidate for the position of the woman member of Parliament for Serere? And what is that thrilling you to feel you can be the best representative?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Achom Esther Lucy. I come from Serere. I grew up from Serere. I am here assuring viewers that I am the best candidate for Serere. Reason, first and foremost, I am the youngest. I am still very young, very energetic, disciplined woman, a person who has grown up from Serere, who understands the problems people of Serere face. That's why I'm today before you, that I'm ready to stand with you, to offer services, to serve you, not to rule you. To most of you who have listened to me, I've moved around. My campaigns, first of all, are village-based campaigns, whereby I have understood in details the challenges people of Serere are going through. That's why I believe, and I'm assuring you that I am the best candidate that can be able to represent Serere, not only women, but everyone. In my leadership, I base on my well-oriented manifesto focusing on health, education, roads, improving on roads, improving on the livelihood of everyone, mostly those women with disabilities, women that have been rejected, women who are not able to access any meeting, women who are left behind. To my Serere viewers, I'm here to assure you, when you look at our roads, as I've just told you, based on my manifesto, that's one of the aspects that has made me to move with you together, to offer my life. When you look at our roads, right away from Kagwara up to Soroti, when you reach Soroti here, Soroti people are able to identify that this person is from Serere because of the dust. And yet we have leaders who have been there. Yesterday, I was moving around our health center for Serere. When you look at the level that hospital is now, for sure we have sleeping leaders and that have lost the focus for the lifestyle, for the lives of the people. The hospital needs to be upgraded now to the level of district hospital, but when you look at it, it's still at Health Center 4. Health Center 4 lacking so many things that make it to be a health center for even. When you go to the women, people are suffering. When you go to the people living at the lakesides, they're suffering due to lack of education, lack of accessibility to our leaders that can educate them to understand what the law means. So I'm here to assure you that I am going to be your voice that's going to make you understand and we move together, since I am from the village and I understand all the problems people of Serere are facing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Esther Lucy Achom. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall be clocking to the second phase, and that will be taken through by my brother Hiria Peterson. I will get back for another in Peterson.
Thank you so much, Stephen. And thank you so much, viewers, wherever you are. Now, this session, we are going to interrogate issues of women, policy issues, women rights, the real core role of a woman member of parliament, even when there are so many, but by the fact that you are called a woman member of parliament, it means priority is women issues. I'll start with candidate Architect Deborah. What practical strategies will you use in parliament to advance better policies for women and to improve on the status of women's rights?
Thank you so much. For me to advocate for the rights of the women, I must understand what the problems are the women are facing in Serere. And I want to direct this day to most of our people who are here and the listeners at large. Serere is a place where very many women are killed. And when you even research what is really bringing this, sometimes it's not known. And Serere is a place where most of the women have turned into beggars because they tell them to start groups, but they do not tell them where they can get money from. They are not empowered. Only that we come as leaders because you want votes, you tell them to start groups. And when you look at most of the challenges when it comes to childbirth, today I was in a place called Anyangan, there is a place called Pachoto. There is no route where you can even pass unless you use a boat. So I was actually wondering, how does a pregnant woman at night cross that place and go to a health center? And when you look at the number of children these people are producing, you realize that they may lack a certain kind of knowledge that we need to advocate for. However, the way I am going to do that in Parliament is by taking their cry to them in Parliament and advocate for some funding that is going to be very helpful, and of which, if that funding comes, I need to direct them on how they are supposed to utilize them and also encourage them. How do I intend to do that? Having understood that most of the women are in saving groups, and most of the leaders have told them to start the groups, but not advising them. I really want to encourage women by giving them hands-on activities.
Thank you, Honorable
Yes.
Deborah. We want to hear the strategies in Parliament. The question is about Parliament.
Okay.
Yes, the strategies in Parliament is what we want to hear.
The strategies majorly is because the main thing is having identified those activities from down. I'm supposed to take them to Parliament, to the committees that are responsible, and also advocate for their rights so that they can be protected in different ways. I don't know if I'm perceiving the question very well, but I beg to first stop there so that I don't go beyond unless I haven't understood the question.
All right, thank you. Then any policy that you think should be, you can of course deal with to improve on the women's rights, the state of women in Serere?
For now, I am going to pass that, then come back to it later.
All right, thank you. Let me get to candidate Ichulet Sandra. How will you confront culture and political resistance to issues that are affecting women in Serere? How will you confront culture and political resistance to issues affecting women in Serere?
By identifying the issues of women in the community. The second one, by advocating for their rights in the community.
Yes. How? How will you confront culture and political resistance? You need to understand your strategy. How a Serere woman will be empowered, will improve when you are the woman member of Parliament, especially looking at the cultural issues that are affecting women and the political resistance that women are facing.
Okay, thank you very much. The first one I said, by identifying the issues of women in the community. We all know that this period, women are being used and are not empowered. To me, for instance, giving a woman t-shirts 1,000 or 2,000 is not enough. We need to empower them. We need to teach them on things that are going to develop them and they live independently.
Thank you. Let me get to candidate Alupo Margaret. Which gaps in the current laws most undermine women's rights? Which gaps in the current laws most undermine women's rights? And how will you address those gaps to ensure that a woman in Serere improves, the state of a woman of Serere improves?
Thank you very much. Currently, the laws that undermine the rights of women in general, one I think is the land laws that we have in our country, where women are not yet given the right to be included in the official ownership of land. I'm a married woman and wedded, but these laws, even if you're married, you are settled and comfortable in the home, but when it comes to land agreements, land records, you will not find the name of the woman included in the land details or in the land titles. Customary land will be passed on to the husband only. You are married to the same man, but your name will not be included. So these laws, our land laws, still undermine the rights of the woman, even when you're wedded, even when you're properly married and recognized as the official wife. Those laws don't give us the right to own property. Unless you've bought that property with your own husband and you've agreed that this particular property will be ours jointly owned. I think also the other thing, the right to participate freely is also limited. Our laws tend to recognize the masculinity of men, and men are given priority. If you see, if you look at certain professions, there is still a constraint that tries to bar women from participating freely. So I think some of our human development policies need to open up more. There is still a constraint that thinks men need to be on top until recently.
Thank you. Now on the other part of how you intend to address.
Thank you very much on addressing, say, the land laws that I have just mentioned. We need to do a lot of awareness, beginning from the issue structures, right from the clan levels, that it is better for the cultures, for the customary structures and leaderships to recognize the woman, to recognize the girl child. If I am the only girl or we are only girls, why not allow the girls to own property? So sensitization is one of the things that we will have to continue advocating for, so that these rigid systems open up. I would really think we do more sensitization and advocacy for such.
Thank you so much. I now get to candidate Achom Esther. You said you are a village woman, a rural woman. This question now is for you, since you are from the village, because a village woman is still lagging behind, very behind, even when we have women women MPs, and every district has. And we would expect that a rural woman issues of a rural woman should really be priority in Parliament, because the number of women MPs is big. How will you ensure that rural women, the young women with disability, that village woman that you said you are, will be heard, will be fully represented, those issues will be catered for?
Thank you once more. As I said, I'm a village woman and disciplined, faithful. First and foremost, as a village woman, for a village woman to be represented and to be heard, I will first do inclusive and representation by establishing meetings at village levels parish levels, up to sub-county levels. For the women with disabilities, we all know how difficult for those people to access most of the services. They're always left behind. I will always open engagements, having platforms that I can include them, whereby they table their problems, and I'll be able to take them up to the Parliament. To have accessible platforms for those women is by you having meetings that whereby they can be able to access. Let's say, for example, this lame woman, this vulnerable woman from the village, how will I base the meeting up to the point that she can reach, whereby I'm able to understand their issues, note them, and table at Parliament? As you understand, a role of a district woman MP is to make sure that you advocate for your women, with all categories. You advocate for development for all of them, so they will be able to access, and I will be able to make sure that I report back whatever I'm able to get from them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me get to candidate Apollo Susan. Candidate Apollo Susan, how will you mainstream gender perspectives in legislation and parliamentary debates, but also to pay attention to gender mainstreaming in Serere district?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. As I contest for this race, much as I'm contesting as a woman member of Parliament, but the issues that are in Serere cut across. And when I go to Parliament, I'm not only going to represent women, because all categories have similar challenges. So when I go to Parliament, there are issues that are concerning women. There are issues that are tackling the men. And there are issues that are concerning the children as well. Say, for instance, when you look at Serere as a district, our educational background is going low each other year. Serere in 2024 was rated one of the worst performed districts in the whole of Uganda when it came to education, and that one cuts the children. And when you look at that issue, it is basically the education sector that is affected. So when I go to Parliament, I intend to lobby through the Ministry of Education for more schools to be added to Serere, more classrooms, and then also the teacher-child ratio should be improved, because right now...
Candidate Apollo Susan, we are talking about gender mainstreaming.
I'm bringing you
the
to...
perspectives in Parliament.
Thank you.
These issues, yes, they are, you are right, they are there in Serere, but now we are talking about you in Parliament having the gender perspectives into your legislation. When you are in Parliament there, how, because these are the issues that affect women.
Thank you. When I'm in Parliament, how do I tend to handle the gender balanced perspective of the whole process. In Parliament, when you are in the sessions, you tend to debate regarding the issues of your people. So you'll find that when I'm there, I'll be advocating, I'll be lobbying to make sure that gender issues are handled equally. Because issues affecting men are also critical. When you look at the men of Serere,
Leave the men out of this. We are still dealing with women.
true, that
Yes.
is very true,
Because
my brother.
under gender mainstreaming, you are looking at women as vulnerable. So first leave the men. They are we a
Okay.
bit okay.
Because when you look at the men of Serere, when we are actually in the field, it is not that it's only the women we are going to represent. But if you want me to talk about the women, one, when you talk about the women's issues, they cut across beginning from a girl child to a woman. The girls in Serere have been married off at a tender age. So when I go to Parliament, I intend to talk about this so that the laws regarding girl children are tightened and streamlined. And then we intend to enhance the educational sector regarding girls. And then, of course, when it comes to the women, I intend to lobby for projects that are going to empower the women across Serere.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's an important question. It was meant for the current woman MP who's not here. I don't know if any of you is ready to take it up. Who can respond to this question?
You ask.
All of them? Yes. Okay, that will come later. Thank you so much. The next session is for Stephen Ojachol.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it is unfortunate that we do not have the incumbent member of parliament for Serere, although we made an invitation and we have not received any formal communication from her. We shall remain waiting whether she will join this debate, because where we are entering into, it would be more interesting if she was here. But nevertheless, I appreciate the candidates who have come, and we really thank you for responding. This engagement bridges the gap between us and the community, and ideally, it is of sense that you have responded to our call. It is for the good of Serere, not us, because we give you a platform to face with the people of Serere and share greater ideas that you feel will address the key issues surrounding your community. We are going to the second session, or rather the third session, yes, and that is the budgeting and gender responsive financing. As a woman member of parliament, we know that it is very important to deal with the issues of budgeting and gender responsive financing. And this takes me to the first question that I will ask the FDC flag bearer, the Honorable Akiteng Deborah. Get hold of the microphone. The Honorable Akiteng, how will you ensure that national budgets respond to women's specific needs in case you are made a woman member of parliament for Serere?
How do I ensure? Beg your pardon?
How will you ensure that the national budgets respond to women's specific needs?
How I will ensure that is majorly by following the committees. I'm very sure Parliament has got a committee that approves those budgets. And having advocated them during, maybe lobbied them during the parliamentary sitting, I would love that whenever the resources are actually allocated to the women, I do the follow-up and also advocate for a better resource management committee underground. Because at the end of the day, sometimes we advocate for this money in Parliament, but when it comes to the implementation part of it, it is not done very well. Because the sole reason or the main reason or the main role for every MP is more of advocacy and also lobbying from different organizations, and then educate these people on how to utilize the funds. Do I need to expound it more?
You still have time.
Okay. So you realize that there are very many different organizations as well that help these women with the funding. But the problem is when it goes to these people down, maybe if the money is allocated to the lower person, they are not taught on how to use the money. So I want us to, okay, as a person, I would love to set even the smallest committees to do the follow-up, educate these women on how to utilize it so that it does not fall into the wrong hands and it does the right thing. Most especially when it comes to education of a girl child, empowerment of these women in the communities. Some of the projects are actually brought to these women, but when you look at the conditions that are given for you to get this funding, they are really so exaggerated. So I would also love that however much I advocate it from Parliament, I also need them to flex a little bit on the requirements of how you get this money from the government. Because there are projects that have really come, they are very good government projects, but when you look at the condition on how you get this money, it's just close to impossible. So I would also love the flexibility part to come about it, and most especially also educate these people on how to use this money and help them in person if need be.
Thank you very much. I will pass the microphone to the National Unity Platform candidate. That is the Honorable Ichulet Sandra. Honorable Sandra, what does gender-responsive budgeting mean in practice, and how will you promote it?
I beg your pardon?
What does gender-responsive budgeting mean in practice, and how will you promote it when you get to Parliament?
Gender policy what?
I will repeat. What does gender-responsive budgeting mean?
Gender?
In practice. What does gender-responsive budgeting mean in practice? And how will you promote it when you get to Parliament?
Gender budget policy, right? It's that money that is...
It is gender-responsive budgeting.
Gender-responsive
What
budget.
does gender-responsive budgeting mean?
It's that money that is allocated for that district in order that it comes up to help the people of the district. How am I going to do that? I shall make sure that I do a follow-up. We all know that in most cases, this money is allocated to that district, and it's the members of the community supposed to get the money. But at the end of it all, the money lands into wrong hands. Or that money at times it's allocated to particular people, not the real people, whereby you can find a district person giving money within their family. Then you find out that the people in the community don't have access. So how am I going to do that? I'll make sure that I follow up that money and educate the people in the community. We all know that the government has given that money to the community, but they lack enough knowledge on how to use the money.
Honorable Ichulet.
Yes, please.
How will you promote the gender responsive budgeting when you go to Parliament. The question is how?
How? It's by doing a follow-up on the money that is being given to the community. For instance, we all know that the government raises money for different projects, but the people in the community are not yet sensitized. Let's talk about the projects of the pig and the sheep. I follow up, educate them about that project to see that Serere changes to a better Serere that is needed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Ichulet. I would have loved to ask you the second phase of the same question, but for now, let me reserve. You can hand the microphone to Honorable Margaret. Honorable Margaret.
Yes, please.
What budget reforms will you reduce? What budget reforms will reduce girls' school dropout? When you get to Parliament, what do you think are some of the budget reforms you need to implement that you think can curb the school dropout of girls?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, in national budgeting, the government budgets usually focus on all genders to see what is allocated to the girls, to the women, to the men, like that. Now, the budget reforms that I think if I go to Parliament, I would want to pay keen interest in to ensure that we reduce on the school dropout of girls is that we need to have budgets that strategize on incentives that can keep girls at school. If our national budgets, especially through the Ministry of Education, can capture some of the needs that tend to intimidate girls from keeping at school, give them the incentives, say for instance, provide for them the sanitary towels, let the sanitary towels be incorporated in the school budgets as the government is releasing grants. Part of the grant could cover those specific needs that affect the girl child, like the sanitary towels. Also, if there can be incentives, in the 90s, government came up with a policy to have affirmative action for girls by adding 1.5 points for girls who were entering university, and girls worked so hard for those points. If government could see that at primary school, it should be a priority. If you were a girl, let there be specific areas and places for you to change and make our menstrual experience honorable rather than, stigmatizing. Government can come up with different incentives attached to the school budgets that can help the girls to stay at school longer.
Thank you. Thank you very much, the Honorable Margaret. You've been loud and clear, and you've utilized the time.
Thank you.
Very well. It's so much of discipline and adherence to the rules. That makes me to give Honorable Achom the microphone. Honorable Achom, what will be the budget priorities in case you get to Parliament? I saw in your manifesto when you were giving your introduction one of the first items in your manifesto was health. Now, to improve on health in Serere, what budget priorities will you champion for maternal and productive health? What budget priorities will you champion for maternal and productive health in Serere when you get to Parliament?
Well, thank you. As a member of Parliament, we all know the standard duties a member of Parliament performs. When we go to health-wise, as the representative for Serere, I would really focus in strengthening health facilities at all grassroots by focusing or pushing for fundings that can be allocated to health centers 3, 4, and making sure that all those health centers are equipped. Like right now, when you go down there, you find a hospital, it is graded as health center 3, but it's just a name. When you enter inside there, it lacks so many equipments. So that will be my first priority. Secondly, what I will do is to motivate the workers. Pushing for salary increment. You know, when somebody is motivated, a person performs better. That will be the second priority, the health worker. As we all know, our lives lie on those people's hands. The third priority would be to advocate or to push for essential medicines and supplies. To be honest with you, when you go down there practically, let me give you an example of Health Center 3. I was in Atira yesterday. When I met my people there, they told me, for us here, for the medicines to take 3 days, it's a miracle. So that will be another priority for me to push for and to make sure that the funds are located on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Esther, an independent candidate for Serere. I will ask our Honorable Apolot Susan. Yes? A microphone to her. Okay, thank you. Honorable, what financial measures will you, what financial measures do you think will support women, entrepreneurs, and cooperatives, in case you are a leader?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Some of the measures that I'll cooperate when I go to Parliament is, in Serere, women have so many small saving groups. But these women save without a lot of sensitization. The women in Serere are managing money, but they do not know how to manage it, because you find a treasurer is a P3 dropout. So when I go to Parliament, I'll want to advocate for a lot of sensitization in the women's groups that are saving in Serere, and then also co-opt these small groups that are saving to grow them into circles. And when they grow into circles, government has microfinance groups, microfinance banks that tend to lend money to these women. So when I go to Parliament, the government of Uganda needs to strengthen on the system of how to empower women, because there is actually a channel for that. Women down are very, very vulnerable to a lot of poverty, and that has been our biggest challenge in Serere. Because when you look at a woman in Serere, she's the greatest breadwinner. So to me, I would suggest that women need to be empowered financially. And actually, as I speak, I have already started empowering these women with some small projects. But with these small projects, I need government to come in and see how they can help. Women have to learn how to push out poverty from their homesteads. And that one can only be done if they are sensitized and educated and told how they can do it. Most of them, by the way, they are very willing, but they just don't know what to do. So when I go to Parliament, I'm going to be a champion in this. I want to champion, I want to advocate, I want to remind the government of Uganda that if we want to have a better Uganda, let's see how we can empower women, sensitize women how to manage money. For example, women got PDM, but they did not know how to manage it. Most of them got this money and just used it for other things. So if we are to have a better Uganda, we need to see how we can handle women's projects, give them skills, train them, teach them how to manage money, teach them how to do a lot of mixed farming, how to do poultry, how to do livestock keeping. And I'm very certain that these things are already, the laws are already there, even the policies are already there. We just need to advocate and strengthen them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that actually comes to the end of the session, and I would like us to go to the issues of oversight, accountability, and transparency. And that will be taken us through by Peterson. Peterson, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Stephen. We now talk about oversight, accountability, and transparency. And away from Parliament, this session will focus on how you plan to do the oversight role, accountability issues, and transparency within the constituency, and that is Serere District Local Government. Putting in mind that as a woman member of Parliament, you are an ex-officio of all the councils in the district. And I'll start with candidate Architect Deborah. What accountability mechanisms will you promote to prevent misuse of public resources? And that is under the role of an MP, that is oversight.
What accountability measures do I intend
to promote, to prevent misuse of public resources as you do your role of oversight as a member of Parliament?
Given the roles of the oversight, majorly oversight means monitoring some of these things. It means when the budget is actually approved, I need to do a follow-up of how this money is being used. Most especially when it comes down to a common man. There is always a way of you following from the different stakeholders from the local government. Because usually when this money is advocated for from Parliament, there is a channel that it passes and it comes to the local government. But most times, most of the leaders tend to end there. They don't go up to the local government to follow up. So it means if money is actually requested for the road construction, then I need to really follow up and say, was the money well utilized? Did the road, the specific road A that was budgeted for, was it done properly or not? If the money is released for the women or maybe for reproductive health, I need to follow up and also do the monitoring bit of it. But then there is also something government does. I don't know, they usually call it a bazaar or bazaar something, where most of the stakeholders at one point come and then they analyze issues with the local man. They go maybe, let's say in Kidetok, and then they call the LOC ones, they call the stakeholders that are in that area, and also some of the member of parliaments that are supposed to be there. In this kind of bazaar, you realize that the common man also raises up his issues and says, road A and B was budgeted for, but this is not what they did. So it makes an MP to also have an insight to understand that truly some of these projects are not implemented, some of the other projects are being implemented by us developing a relationship with the common man down, bridging a gap between a common man and the local government and parliament. And if someone bridges such a gap and has got a straight communication mechanism, you realize that some of this money does not go to wrong hands. And you also realize that whatever money that is released and budgeted for, it's utilized for the specific reason as to why it was released. So I feel with the little understanding that I have, that could be a very, very good thing for me to do so that the money cannot be misused. I beg to stop there unless I need to add something else. You may ask.
All right, thank you. You mentioned the baraza. Yes, that's a good one. But when we talk about accountability mechanisms, there are those that are already existing within the systems. How will you use those ones to ensure that if you can add something there to make it a bit more clear?
There are those that are already existing?
Yes.
Maybe an example?
I will be answering your question.
Because the existing channels that I know basically that bridges a common man and the other side up is that baraza. And then on the side of the local government.
Not a common man, a member of parliament, while doing the oversight role to ensure accountability. Not a common man. We are talking about the role of an MP in oversight.
The role of an MP is more in monitoring. Like I mentioned before that when this money is released, I don't need to stay up there in parliament. I need to come to the ground and then follow up on why, what, and how the money that was released is being utilized. And I believe that by my presence also coming to attend some of these local government meetings, it helps me to understand how this money is being used. It will help me to account for it, and also it will help me to give a report to my bosses in parliament. And I believe my availability in the local constituency, my constituency, it is the major thing that will help me understand the accountability bit of it.
Thank you. Let me get to the second candidate.
Okay.
Candidate titular of the National Unity Platform.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. I've seen the badge. I was going to ask what happened to the beret. But there is... Okay, thank you. How will you monitor the impact of funded projects at community level? Government funds many projects, especially for women.
Thank you very much. One, by capacity building, by putting them in groups, empowering them with skills, and training them. We all know that when we give projects to the people, to the women, the community, they are not sensitized. But me as Ichulet Sandra, I'll make sure that I do a follow-up and train my women in the community for them to have enough skills and enough knowledge on that particular project. After 3 to 6 months, when they attain the knowledge and skills, I shall send a team to come and monitor them. After monitoring them, there will be change in Serere district. All women shall have change and will have been empowered. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll get to candidate Margaret Alupong. Many women in Serere district do not even know anything about the budget, be it at sub-county, district, or even the national budget. They don't even know the funds allocated for government programs which target women. How will you ensure that the women in Serere participate in the budget oversight, consultation, and consultations as a key tool to empower a local woman with information?
Thank you very much. How, as a member of parliament, I will ensure that women participate in budget oversight allocations and so forth? One, we have available structures from the grassroots all the way up to parliament. The thing that we need to do is to go through those structures, right from the village structures, sensitize the LOC1s and the women in the LOC1 committees, and let sensitization flow all the way up to the district local government. Let them know that for the budget item to be allocated for them, they need to raise those issues at grassroots level. We have to involve the end users of the budget. And if we are focusing on women, we sensitize them to raise issues. We follow up those issues, see that those budgets have been adopted and allocated funds. And when it comes to implementation, to encourage them that they need to see that what they requested for has been granted, has been released, and they have to follow that it actually has gone to meet the need that they raised in the first place. So this works with sensitization, raising of issues, follow-up of issues for allocation at the budget, because this should be in light with what is the strategic plan, the national strategic plan, what is it highlighting for women. I think for me, I would want it to sensitize the last budget users on what is supposed to be done by them, involve them, participatory approach all the way up and all the way down would be the take for me.
Thank you so much. Candidate Esther Chom. Every financial year, the Auditor General's report shows that there is a lot of misuse of funds allocated to women's programs. How will you ensure transparency in funds allocated to women's programs?
Thank you. As we all heard, that is my area. First of all, I'm an accountant. As I am a woman member of parliament, there's that duty that you're supposed to do, that you're supposed to take up when you're at Parliament, as you've just said, that is government oversight, being accountable to the people that send you to the Parliament. Giving accountability, it is in two ways. You account to the person or to the people who send you to the Parliament, and you account for those programs that government implement. One, how you will ensure transparency of the funds that are allocated for the women is to implement or always fix for audits, regular audits, whereby those audits will help the public to understand that the funds, certain amount of money was allocated to this group of women. Let's take, for example, disability groups. Two, as a leader, I will always make sure I fix barasas. Having a barasa is an opportunity for a local person, a local woman down there, to bring the views, and for you, a leader, to take time and account for your leaders, for your people that send you to the Parliament. The next thing that I will do for transparency is to do public projects to the women down there. Like when you take, for example, today I was in Kagwara, in a certain village that I think no leader has ever stepped. They were asking me a number of questions I was not able to answer also. They asked me, first of all, that we have had the government has started refunding, or LOCs are taking records of those who lost their cows, whose cows were robbed, for example. They told me, for us, we do not know where to access and whom to contact regarding on that. Then also, I was able to get a number of questions on the PDM. They told me some of us were not able to access, and our leaders are not able to explain to us how somebody can benefit from PDM. And once you access, how will you be able to benefit from it? They are not given that knowledge. They are not sensitized. So I will always make sure that I go to the public, to my women down there who are vulnerable, who are not able to access such services publicly.
Thank you. Let me get to candidate upload, Susan. The District Service Commission has faced criticism over corruption. So is the entire district in a number of areas. And the women are affected in many ways. How do you plan to improve the state of a Serere woman who seeks to get a job, who seeks to benefit, but cannot because of corruption issues?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. When it comes to the issue of corruption in a district, true, it is a very common thing that is happening. But now, when it comes to job opportunities for the women or accessing a job as a woman in Serere district, to me, I feel given chance that I come through as a woman member of parliament is to sit with all the stakeholders in the district, first of all. Then we get to understand each other. we get to understand the core values why we are holding those positions. Because the people we are representing here are the people of Serere at whatever level. Whether you are a cow, whether you are a district education officer, whether you are a district medical officer, we are all here for the people of Serere. Where need be, sensitization among my staff should also be done, because these jobs are distributed and given out equally to both women and men. But because I'm representing the women, I will always make sure that I do that oversight job of a member of parliament to make sure that the women of Serere, especially those who qualify for those specific positions, are given chance to apply and let the recruitment done genuinely.
Thank you. You are answering the question well, but those are some of the things maybe you can do as an individual. But as an MP, you have some powers. As you are doing your oversight,
yes,
there are those specific ways you can handle those issues. And that's what we want to listen to. How? Because currently, yes, there's a member of parliament. There are many members of parliament. And maybe there are things they have not done. That's why you are coming into the office. So restrict yourself to what the law gives you in Kampala. Leave these other issues of...
the law in Kampala actually fights corruption. One is talking about corruption, because if women are not given jobs equally, it means those jobs are given out to other persons. So I'll make sure I oversee the program of women and make sure I follow up job distributions in the district, and women should be given out jobs equally, because the law of Uganda states that gender balance should be given equally. So I, my role as a member of parliament is to oversee the government programs, including making sure that the government services, the government services, and also the government jobs that are available in my district are also shared amongst women. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, that's the last question. Of course, there are two more questions for the two empty chairs. Maybe someone will pick up one of these questions and the answer. But we want to get the next session because of time. But this one should be answered by all of you. How? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Peterson. I only urge my candidates to be calm, because we are yet to come to the conclusion of the debate, and so far, so good. I will take you through the representation, participation, and leadership role of the woman member of parliament. And I would like to ask the Forum for Democratic Change candidate, that is Honorable Akiting. How will you amplify the women's voice in parliament and decision-making spaces?
We know that by the name a woman and a woman member of parliament, we pay key interest to the matters to do with women, and the issue of gender sensitivity here is key even in representation. So how will you amplify the women's voices in parliament, especially in the aspect of decision making, in the space of decision making in parliament?
Amplifying the voice of the women in parliament, if I'm not right. Is it so?
Yes.
Yes. In most times, amplifying something, you must understand what you're amplifying for. And having earlier on mentioned some of the challenges these women face, I would love to go and represent them by taking their challenges to parliament and also advocating for their rights, most especially when it comes to gender-based violence, and also try to give them different channels on how to help a woman down there. Because sometimes we do bring up suggestions, but we do not suggest the solutions to those problems. But at the end of the day, we report that maybe women in such and such a village are being violated domestically. But then I would love also, when I'm reporting to parliament, I should be in position to suggest on how best we can solve that problem. And by so doing, I will be actually increasing their cry, like increasing the voice so that their cry is heard from outside. Most especially when it comes to also the transparency bit of it, and when it comes to the reporting, and then the monitoring, all that will make me understand what to amplify.
Honorable Akiting.
Yes, please.
In parliament, there is an aspect of lawmaking.
Yes.
There is an aspect of budgeting. That is appropriation. How will you be able to amplify the voices of women in making sure that this accommodates them directly?
By advocating for their budgets to be somehow specific and favored and accessible, that in a way, whatever money that is budgeted for should be flexible a little bit for a common woman to understand and also access. And by so doing, if I am really the voice from there, then it means I will have to be more of a vocal person that at least helps in suggesting in relocation or allocation of funds to those specific areas where a woman is majorly affected. Take an example of reproductive health. And if I understand as a nurse that reproductive health is some of the places that are underrated, that are under budgeted for, then it means I will have to prioritize on some of those places that I feel should be uplifted. And if I do the priority bit of it, I also need to follow up.
Thank you. You can hand the microphone to the flag bearer for the National Unity Platform Party. That is Honorable Ichulet. Honorable Ichulet. In Parliament, as the leader, we know that you are an ex-officio to most of the implementation of the government projects at the grassroots. How will you maintain the non-partisan solidarity on the women's issues?
Come again.
How will you maintain the non-partisan solidarity on the women's issues in your term of leadership?
Thank you very much. I shall make sure that every woman receives what belongs to her. We all know that in most cases, women are not valued in the community, even in our own country, whereby men take over and undermine women.
My question is, if I may repeat, how will you maintain the non-partisan solidarity on women's issues while at Parliament?
I shall make sure that I sensitize them about that particular product or project that the government shall allocate to them.
Are you still explaining? You still have, your time is still on.
Unless you have another question. No.
Okay, I have another question because your time is still on.
Okay, let's go on.
I call for order. Members, you will be allowed to cheer, but you be critical to allow the candidate to respond to and also to give you an opportunity to listen. Honorable Chulet, how will you marginalize the women influence policy priorities? I still added you that question because you still had time. And I believe you can still have an opportunity to power your ideas to the people of Serere who are following you. How will marginalized women influence the policy priorities?
One, by making groups, creating groups. We all know that one person can't manage to handle a project. Since from the beginning, my introduction was, I am a business-oriented person.
Honorable Chilet.
Yes, please.
The question is dealing with the policy. And it is very clear, how will the marginalized women influence policy priorities?
I beg to skip that one.
Okay. You can hand the question to Honorable Margaret. I mean, the microphone to Honorable Margaret. I beg my pardon. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have the decorum here. Honorable Margaret.
Yes, please.
I want to begin from the same question. That how will the marginalized women influence policy priorities?
Thank you very much. If the marginalized women identify themselves together and they agree to sit and put their pain together and lobby together, their voice can be heard better than if they spoke out one by one. So I would encourage women who feel marginalized to come together to form a group so that they can be able to get a stronger united force and speak a stronger voice. In that way, they can be in position to influence decisions that would go against them. We shall also encourage them to be captured by the media. We thank the media very much. Oftentimes, it has helped the marginalized groups who come to the limelight or come to their attention to have their plight highlighted and brought to public knowledge. So in short, I would think first and foremost we have the marginalized women come up. They have to voice out the issues affecting them. And as a woman member of parliament, then I will take it up to the respective committees during debates, during voting, so that those are captured in the mainstream planning of the country.
Thank you. And that takes me to ask you. I gave you that question because I wanted you to have an advantage.
Thank you.
From your colleague, since she asked me to pass it. Now, your question is, what leadership values guide your representation of Serere women?
The leadership values that guide me are unity, transparency, accountability, and effective representation. I would like to go to Parliament and carry the voice of a united women in Serere district. That will be my encouragement. That will be what I will echo whenever I have a platform to speak to them. It's better we unite so that we bring out our issues corporately. I would like to offer the leadership that listens to them, so that I can accurately capture and articulate what they are going through. When I go to Parliament, in the relevant committee, in the committee that I belong or I find myself, I'll raise the issues. If I am not in the committee that is in position to handle issues that are affecting the women in my district, then I will liaise with other leaders in those specific committees and lobby for the inclusion of the issues that are affecting the women in Serere. I would like to be present in Parliament so that I can raise. When I am absent, then I will lose out on the opportunities that I would have to bring out the issues of the women. So I really want to be transparent as such, by bringing to Parliament what their plight is, what their aspirations are. But also the other value is accountability. I would be very keen on how are the women of Serere going to benefit from government programs, from government policies, from the manifesto of the president. And once I identify those opportunities, I'll see how to channel them directly to the needs of the women, to the groups in their different forums. Women are mostly gathered up in groups. They have their self-help groups. That is where we will follow them up, train them from there, channel these available opportunities and projects right all the way to the grassroots where they are. Those are the key values that are driving me, and I think when I go to Parliament, I want to be a trustworthy leader whom they can depend on, that when I get their issues, when they come to my attention, I will surely deliver them and bring back the needed feedback.
Thank you. I've loved that one because in most cases, people think a woman is a beggar, that when a leader goes to Parliament, must put women together and give them money that turns them to be beggars. What do you think is a key problem of a woman that you will directly need to address?
Women have the same needs that the men have. What we advocate for, mostly as women, which brings in the aspect of gender equality, is to be given the same opportunities available for men. The plight of women is exclusion and marginalization in most cases. When there is a job opportunity at the district, we talked about corruption at the recruitment processes in the districts. When it is a man negotiating for a salary, a fellow man will say, okay, you need 3.5 million. When it is the woman negotiating for a salary for herself, they'll say, you are somebody's wife. Why do you need all this money? So we need equal treatment. If a man can negotiate for 3.5 for the same job, let me also negotiate for the same, and I should be able to have a good bargain. So that is what I think really affects, and the need for women is equal opportunities. Let us be given equal treatment. Let us be allowed to inherit property. Let the judicial the justice be accessible to all of us. I go to police, a male police officer should be able to listen to me as a woman fairly. But if you are going with a domestic problem and you find a male officer who gets biased and judges you before you release the details of the case, we want equal treatment and equal opportunity. I think that is the voice and the need of the women in Serere.
Thank you very much. Because of time, you will be free.
and submit to the relevant department. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Allow me ask, I think you will be the last candidate, and we shall go to the next session of Crossfire. But before that, we shall be receiving questions from the members in the House. So what measures will improve access to justice for gender-based violence survivors?
Thank you very much. When you talk about justice in connection with gender-based violence, women are always very, very vulnerable. So as a member of Parliament, how do I intend to handle this? Many women in different communities have always gone through a lot of gender-based violence, but they tend to get away with it. So as a member of Parliament, what do I intend to do? A lot of sensitization has to go on, beginning right from their homesteads. You need to create awareness to these women. You need to tell them that in case anything like like any violence has happened to you, or a girl child or a woman, they should always report it to the nearest authority. And then, of course, me as their leader will work hand in hand with the concerned authorities. We have the local authorities, right, beginning from the villages, and those are the LC 1s and 2s. And then, of course, you go right up to the police level. And then, of course, we shall always be able to take these matters to court. So women have gone through a lot of gender-based violence, but in most cases, they don't know what to do. But I, as a woman member of Parliament I'll always make sure these women are sensitized, and they should know the laws governing them, and they should know how to go about it, and they should also know how to go up, where to take charge of some of these cases. Because when you look at Serere as a district, most of the challenges that women go through is women do not understand their rights as women. So we need to rise up for these women. We, the leaders, the next leaders of the district, so that they get to understand what is required of them to do in case of any kind of that kind of violence. Because most of them, some of the girls, they are raped and they don't know what to do. Some of them, they are actually married off at a tender age, but they still don't know where to go or what to do about this. So the government of Uganda, which I'm going to serve, has already set laws, but these laws need to be implemented and strengthened and taken down up to the grassroots. And thank God the Parliament of Uganda has a budget for that. And that budget is called, the Parliament has a budget for the Constitution Parliamentary Development Fund. So this budget takes care of such activities of sensitizing women right from grassroots. So I, as the next woman member of Parliament, I should be able to advocate for these sessions so that women are sensitized right from grassroots up to the national level. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. But let me ask you this last one as part of our interaction. The issue of shortage of medicines has always been a problem in most of the facilities, as you heard your colleagues. In a nutshell, how do you intend to address the issue of drug shortages in most of the grassroots facilities for the good of your people?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. To the best of my knowledge, the African countries, Uganda inclusive, sat in Abuja. And they actually agreed that the health ministry in each country should be allocated 14% of the national budget of that country. But when you come to the Ugandan budget for the Ministry of Health, we have been operating at 6.9%. So the most important thing here, first of all, that we need to advocate for is the increment of the budget of the Ministry of Health. Once the budget has been increased, definitely the money allocated to local government should also be increased. Because when you look at Serere, we are operating at a budget of about 37 billion a year. And the health budget for Serere is just about 17 billion. Which actually doesn't all come at once. It comes in bits. So you find that this money is not enough for 360,000 Ugandans in Serere. So when I go to Parliament, I need to advocate for the increment of that budget of the Ministry of Health, because once the budget is increased, definitely even Serere shall be able to get more money. But as long as the budget is still operating at 6.9, which I feel is very low. The budget is still very low.
As
definitely,
my timekeeper is indicating
Serere shall not be able to get enough medicines. So for us to be able to fight this, the budget has to be increased. For me, that's what I feel. Right from the central government, then down to the local government. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I will hand the microphone to Peterson. We expected the other candidates to join us along the way. Unfortunately, we are almost coming to the end of this debate. Like I said, this has already made a statement. Peterson.
Thank you, Stephen. We now get to the session where you ask each other questions, crossfire. We start with the Honorable Akiteng. If you have anyone you're asking a question. Candidate, Akiteng Deborah, if you have any question for any candidate.
Personally, I do not want to really ask a question to any of these people because they are all aspirants. But then I just need, I wish the incumbent was actually here, then I would be in position to ask a pinning question as to why and how.
You can still ask
some of these things.
because
But,
I'm sure she's listening.
No, it will
Or
look
she's
like that is
following.
backbiting. But I only want to re-echo on my sister. You understand the standards of the hospital because you're a medical worker. Talking about the budget being increased does not come plainly without defense. And for us in a medical sector, they are different grades of the hospital. And every grade comes with the criteria on how medications are supplied to the hospital. And by so doing, you realize that when we talk of the health center too, it's like a drug shop. And there are just a few drugs that are supposed to be
So what is your
allowed.
question, please?
So my question is, I want her to elaborate on how the drug issue problem will be solved in Serere in details, apart from the budget. What other measure do we have so that we can see that the drugs are enough in a hospital?
Directed to who?
To my fellow medical worker, and that is Sister Apollo.
Sister Apollo. Okay.
Yeah, I use sister
Thank
because
you.
that's our titles.
Yeah.
She's a sister.
Sister Apollo, you can note that. You'll respond later. Oh, you want to respond now? Okay, fine.
And then the other question is directed
One
Okay.
question. Yes.
Thank you very much, Deborah. I call you Deborah. What you need to understand, Deborah, there is what we call central government. And the central government is the one that is responsible with all the budgetary allocations of funds going to local governments, including Serere. The reason we do not have enough drugs is because we are operating on a very small budget. But if we went to Parliament, if I go to Parliament and advocated for an increment of the budget, honestly, if the money is increased, then definitely the drugs shall be able to come on time, because we get drugs quarterly. After 3 months, we are supposed to get drugs. But you find that the drugs run out and they are not enough for the patients that we have in Serere. So the budget has to come from up. It is not the district that buys drugs. No.
Thank you. Thank you.
The reason we don't have drugs is because the budget is still small. The budget has to be increased.
Thank you. There you are, Sister Apollo. Yeah, you can as well ask if you have any question to ask any of your colleagues.
Thank you very much. So because I've been asked a question, I also want to ask. Kenataso.
No, please, don't listen to the audience. Follow the guidelines.
Okay. Honorable Deborah Kiteng, you intend to come into power as a woman representative for Serere. What are you going to do to protect the fishing community across Uganda, especially in Serere, where we are depending on fish for our livelihood and source of income and food? What are you going to do?
I know the excitement is too much, but that's a question that is really something that we have always had, because it's a challenge, a very big challenge in Serere. And when you talk about protecting, it's a little bit narrow, because protecting, the laws do protect, but I also want to understand or to tell you that it is not just about protecting, but it's about trying to implement certain measures that favor a common man in the fishing site. And when you talk about the lakes, there are so many challenges besides what people see. And by the way, people in Soroti, some of the challenges that are in lakes that you're talking about is that on the health part of it, some of the landing sites do not even have one toilet. I can tell you they do not have. And as a health worker, I would love to protect the hygiene of those people by constructing at least one toilet or a facility in that place.
My question,
Secondly,
Deborah,
on
listen,
the side of
listen.
protecting,
Please,
listen to me because I listened to you earlier. On the side of protecting
let
these
her
people,
finish there.
when you look at the insecurity in the lakes, there are very many dark spots, and none of the people, none of the leaders are thinking of at least putting security lights there. And I feel that I will protect a common man who is fishing by giving at least a clear kind of view and the lighting in the lake area. And also, I would like to protect a common man by going to advocate in Parliament that however much we have laws that come against or that protect the fish that is in the lake, we also need to be very flexible to the common man who does the fishing, not just harming them directly. And by so doing, I need to tell the people and also the parliamentarians that however much you say we should not use those bad fishing gears. I always use an example of Karamoja. Most times when they say the Karamojongs should stop stealing and they should return the guns, what happened is they were given iron sheets. And it was like a startup capital for them. It was a startup thing. But in the lake areas, they tell them to throw the bad fishing gears, but they do not even give a seed capital for a common man who is at the lake area. And if government wants to protect these people well and bring them out of the lakes, then they should at least incorporate the funding that helps them get better fishing gears.
Thank you. Honorable Parrot, is your question answered? No. Okay. Thank you. So what answers are you looking for?
A moderator, I
Please,
would like to...
you can end there. Let me listen to Asha. Is your question answered?
No. She has
Even
gone off
mine
topic.
wasn't answered at
thank
first.
you. Thank you. Let me get to Ichulet. Honorable Ichulet, do you have any question to ask?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you once again, moderator. And thank you for this great opportunity. Mine is not a question, but it's just an appreciation to my leaders.
Okay, we were looking for questions. Thank you. Give the microphone to... Any question for your colleagues?
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to ask my colleague, Esther Achom. Esther Lucy Achom. One of the, actually in Serere district, one of the contentious issues affecting the people is the harsh operation conditions faced by the fishers of Serere district that have resulted to death. What regulations would you put forward to regulate the Fisheries Act so that the fishing community of Serere district does not feel harassed?
You are asking a question about implementing the Fisheries Act, which is not a role of a member of parliament, right?
Not implementation.
That's what you're asking. Ask again. But that's the question you're asking.
I am asking the question.
Yes.
That one of the issues that the people of Serere are facing are the harsh conditions, operational conditions. As a member of parliament, what regulations would one put forward? Because every law needs to have a regulation. If they are in operation.
Okay, thank you. What amendments? Not a regulation, because regulations, that's be not what amendments, because regulations are already there. Thank you. Answer the question.
Her concern, in the first place, should go to the incumbent who's not here. Being an accountant, I want to go straight to the point. Because for us who know how to press, to count figures, we don't go and beat the bush. One, as the person will be feeling pain for the people that survive around the lake, the operations or the other way that I will be able to advocate for them is always to make sure that the law is not really put in the harsh way that harashes them. I will always give them to have authority for the lake. And if the government, if the laws that are governing the lake are really harsh to my people, I have the mandate or the authority to represent my people when I'm in the floor, to make sure that I communicate, I bring out what is disturbing my people down there, and the law that they will implement or amend will always not make my people to be killed around, to be charged, and many more. Have I answered your question?
Not quite. Currently, the law is biting the people, and I was guided by our moderator. I withdraw the statement regulations, but what amendments would you propose so that the law works well with the people?
Actually, one of the things that I will try to amend, you know, when you go to other countries, there is always a sector, there is always that program, there is always a table that puts funds aside to support the people around the fishing area that will not be able to afford the equipment that the lake may require them to be having. For example, simple loans. I will always advocate for that. These people should be given, whereby they can be returning at a low rate. Let's say, for example, 1%. A fishing person can be able to buy a required boat, required nets, and they go and survive.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. That's enough. It's your turn now to ask.
I need my sister to respond whether I've answered her properly.
No.
Serere will judge.
That's Serere will judge. Okay. Esther Chom. Candidate Esther Chom. Any question to anyone?
No, I just had a burning before when my sister Apollo was responding to my sister Deborah.
Yes.
That time I had something to implement, to supplement on what she was trying to mean. Because my sister was really trying to argue that the increment in the budget always comes from Parliament or from the ministry. There's no way the head teacher, in the simple way of understanding, there's no way the head teacher can know that the teacher, a classroom teacher, is not having a pen for marking. And there's no way a DO can know that how many boxes of pens does a certain school require. A budget as a process. It starts from down. It starts from a sub-county level, let's say, for example, or a village. And it's based on the demand. It's based on the population of the area. And when the budget is set, when it starts from the village level, it keeps upgrading up to the district level. District level takes up to the ministry. So my sister, I'm just trying to support what Deborah said, that the budget is always based at the village level or sub-county level, and it is the person at the sub-county level that keeps pushing it up to the ministry for us to get, or for them to understand the demand or how Serere needs to increase on the budget for the medicine or for the hospitals to be equipped with the medicines all.
Okay, thank you so much. We now want to get to the questions from the audience and online.
Excuse me.
At that rate, we may not achieve our, we are supposed to end this shortly, but then you still have, because as she will respond, you will have another response. This one, shall take too long. But before you, okay, let me first start with the upload.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
You have 1 minute.
Yes, I think the question was very clear. That, Susan, what do you intend to do as in to improve on the drug supply or lack of medicine in Serere as a district? Serere as a district does not supply these health centers or these health office, all these health facilities with medicine. The chain of command begins right from Serere and the request goes up to central government, whichever responsible ministry. But I know Minister of Health is responsible. And then,
thank you so much.
Yeah, so I was responding to them.
But the fact is that health facilities draw budgets.
Yes.
And those budgets are sent up to the DHO.
And they go up to?
Exactly. Therefore, it is true when they say budgeting starts from the ground.
No,
because it is the health facility that knows the population of patients that visit there. It is the budget. There is no one ministry of health will plan for the population of Serere without Serere sending they actually even send your health worker, that you send, we have more malaria cases. Yeah. We need more malaria drugs. We need this number of vaccines. It comes from
but if the budget is
and
small,
that is the starting point.
If
thank
the
you.
budget is small, there's no way we can have medicine in Serere.
Thank you. Yes, you are right. But they also right, budgeting starts from the ground. Thank you so much. We shall not continue with rebuttals because we have so many questions from the audience. We also have online audience, and we have just a few minutes to end this. There's a question here. We'll start with the candidate Esther Chom. What concrete achievements do you have that make you to qualify to be an MP? But I think you answered something of this kind when you asked why are you the best candidate, right? Yeah, but they're asking for achievements. So if you have any achievements, please, you respond to the achievements you have.
Well, thank you. As I said earlier, first of all, before I say an achievement that qualifies me to be or to contest as a woman member of parliament, as a chom, I am a very disciplined woman, energetic, and I believe I will drive Serere to the level that people of Serere will need. 2, before I showed up my interest to my people of Serere, as you had my profile, I worked in some local company in construction whereby I was able to get so many youth from Serere and fixed them for earning.
Thank you. There are many questions, but most of the questions have already been dealt with But just to take the record straight, there's a question here. What is the alternative livelihood plan for the people neighboring landing sites in Serere? I think this one has been already handled. What do you have for the Serere people? What do you have for Serere people when voted? These ones were answered. Those were manifesto issues. We gave them time to handle that. What strategies do you intend to use and promote culture, especially on younger girls who are becoming women tomorrow? This was also attended to. Most of these questions that are here were already handled in the questions we are asking and the examples. So we won't do repetitions. We are looking for new questions. If elected, how will constituents hold you accountable? And will you commit to public annual performance reports? Now that this question is for the voters to answer. How they will hold the candidate accountable. That's how it is framed. How will you constitute and hold you? Because it is now the voters to hold the MP accountable. Again, you're asking an MP how the voters will hold. Doesn't add up a little well. How are you going to deliver utilities to the education people? Now, this is a technical question. This is for the Ministry of Education, not a member of Parliament. Many people are crying about how best would you. This one is not a clear one. Okay, they are crying about the lake. Issues of fishing. That one has also been handled already in the crossfire here. I think that is all in the questions. And there is this one. What is your focus in the first 100 days of your term? Now, such a question is also for maybe people like the mayors, because now for an MP, it's 100 days. You can't expect deliverables from an MP in that manner. Well, I think that is all. Maybe for closing remarks, I'll give Stephen.
Thank you very much. The debate is still on, and I call for discipline in the House. The debate is still on, and we have not concluded it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to almost the final minute of this debate. I want to thank the people who have been following us from different platforms. I also want to thank you, the people who have labored to come here to attend this debate in person. You have showed not only the support for your candidates, but you have showed the love and the solidarity you have for Serere District. Serere District is for all of us, because I am a born of Morapesuru here in Soroti, but I eat the fish which is transported from Serere. We have relatives who come from Serere, and we are part of you. We are one blood. We are one Atekir. So, the leadership that you, the candidates, will offer, if any of you chanced to get the opportunity, will nurture both Serere and Soroti. It will nurture both Serere and Ngora, including Katakwi. Why? To transport a patient from Serere to Soroti, however much your ambulance runs faster, but it will need a good road. to have the patient rescued. And it might be me, it might be you, it might be any of our relatives. And when we lose the lives of our dear ones, we both feel the pain because we shall not have them return to be with us again. So, and that is the reason why this platform is made. It is not to blackmail anyone, like we have seen people spreading information unnecessarily. This is what will grow TESO. Because you are coming together not only brings your ideas on the same table, but it also makes you an opportunity to feel the spirits of yours closer to each other. I love seeing Honorable Achom seated next to Honorable Margaret, and they are interacting. Your spirits being closer to each other are not far from reconciliation. They are not far from a peaceful election. And we also ensure that you interact and share ideas. If one goes through, you will be able to take up the ideas of the other to Parliament. So for that reason, for you who have attended, we want to thank you for offering your time, the candidates for coming to attend this debate and participate. But we also encourage that these platforms will continue not only during the politics time, but we also use it as an opportunity to task our leaders, to task our technical staff, the office bearers accountable to the public. And this is the way to go. We have done it voluntarily and in good faith. We are not here to counterfeit anyone, to blackmail anyone, but to give a leveled platform. For those who have not attended, we understand it might be for one reason or the other, but we pray that next time we shall have the same opportunity, God willing. I want to thank the media colleagues who have been here, who have been working up and down. The TESO vibe, I am seeing Sultan Ali is around, Nathan is around, James is around, Savo from Memoria TV, they are all around. Osike Jonathan from TESO Broadcasting Services, and Peterson here, I'm seeing Fatuma. You have stood while we were seated, and we don't take your efforts for granted. May the Almighty God bless you all. And this brings me back to you, the candidates, that when the last person of you speaks, I will not say anything. I want to give the microphone and an opportunity to both of you to say your last remarks. I can start from the FDC flag bearer.
My closing remarks. First of all, I would like to appreciate the media personnel that are here. Thank you so much for bringing such ideas that bring us together for the purposes of peace, and not only interacting, but we shall live here when we know what we need for Serere, that if one person go through, we shall still work as a team to see that we uplift Serere because we have one spirit. And then to the voters, I would love us that now that the new year has started, as you pray so hard for your children to go back to school peacefully, as you pray so hard for your business to prosper, I also want to request you kindly to pray that God gives us a very rightful person to lead Serere for a better service. And then finally, I would like all of us to understand that leadership is inborn, it's never bought. And I believe if we go with the leadership aspect, saying that it's inborn, you don't need to sell your vote for the right person or the wrong person, because I believe a ballot is the greatest successor of a bullet. So I pray for a peaceful session of the elections, and I pray that even after elections, Serere will stay united. And also, I want to thank the moderators for not only guiding us, because these questions, some of them are challenging, but they are giving us an experience and they are giving us a platform to go and understand them before we go to Parliament. And then when it comes to the, I am giving my closing remarks. I'm even almost done. I also want to just finally encourage the media teams that how I wish an MP who is a media personnel also gets into Parliament. I believe that you will be publishing the right information with the quality that the public needs, which is very efficient, because I am also a publicity person, and also being in the medical sector, I want to tell the people of Serere, you will not make a wrong choice. And I pray that God blesses you from wherever you are, that whatever thing that your hands touch, may it be blessed, and have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Chulet, your last words. Can we give her the decorum? Can we give her the decorum? Yes, Honorable Chulet, you are protected.
Thank you so very much, the organizing committee, the viewers, and the people around. I thank you for this moment. I don't take it for granted. To my people of Serere, I just have a word of encouragement that we all know that we are left with 6 days to the elections. I encourage you that let love, unity, and development take over this moment. We all know that politics is something that comes once in 5 years, and we politicians, we shall come and go. But your love, unity, and involvement, this period is the most important thing. And I want to encourage my voters that on the 15th, may they make the right decision. They said the ball is in your hand. The leader you choose right now will determine the 5 years of your household, of your children and your grandchildren. And to the viewers outside there, I encourage you that may you pray for us to be protected, because we all know that politics is full of so many things, attacks, but with your protection, with your prayers, we shall be protected. To my political elders, I do respect you, and I don't take this opportunity for granted. It is through you that I am learning to be a leader. Thank you very much. And I encourage one of us that let the 15th of January decide the right leader. They say action is better than words. I beg to submit and have a good night. All of you, I love you so much.
Thank you very much for the courageous statement. You've made it loud and clear. Honorable Margaret.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank our moderators and the organizers of this debate. Thank you to all the media houses present and all our supporters and my colleagues. Thank you for turning up. Without us, this wouldn't have taken place. I know that leadership is a sacred calling, and as I dedicate myself to serve the people of Serere with integrity, it will surely be a testimony of faith and purpose. I commit this journey to the hands of the Lord, and I know that the brighter future of Serere begins with us. I would like to implore the people of Serere to put their trust in me. I am a self-motivated person, mature, and with good people skills, good communication skills. I will not embarrass the people of Serere while representing them in Parliament. I'm confident that I can work with everybody. I can work with all leaders, all the leadership of the NRM, all the political leaders, the religious leaders, the technical and civil people. I now call upon the people of Serere that we unite on the 15th, vote Margaret Opol for the United Serere, for the change that Serere needs. And my symbol is a saucepan, able to work and to serve the people of Serere without discrimination. Thank you so much. I wish all of you a good night, and may God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Margaret. Members, as we cheer, I also urge that we allow the candidates to give their last remarks. This is very important. Yes, Honorable.
I'm doing this to show my people of Serere that I'm young and energetic. I have a lot of energy to drive you to the destination that you need. Thank you for coming. Thank you for praying for us. Thank you for giving us your time. I know you've had a lot. You're going to rate us, and you're going to make a decision on 15th. But I'm here to request you humbly. I need your vote. Our symbol is the chair that is making all of you comfortable. I'm here for you, and I'm ready for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being brief. Yes, Honorable Apollo.
To our dear moderators, thank you so much for organizing this kind of debate. It has been one of its kind that I've seen. And no wonder two chairs are empty. This one speaks volumes, but anyhow. And I would also like to thank all the media houses in Soroti and Serere. Thank you so much for doing this good coverage. And then I would also like to thank everyone who has spared their time to come and listen to us. Serere decides on the 15th of January 2026 who is going to be the next woman member of parliament. We would like to thank all the people of Serere for accommodating us right from the time we started our campaigns. It has been hectic, it has been very stressful and very, very demanding, but we thank God for how far we have come. And my message out there to my sisters, this seat is only for one person. I know we are 7 and it's a hot one. But it's only one person that is going to parliament, and that is none other than Susan Apollo. So the rest of you need to be very nice to me, because I'll remember you when I reach my father's house. Margaret, remember I told you I'll get you a job at RDC. So,
you know that I'm the one who is going to take the district to its destination.
So, I'm concluding.
Let's conclude. Let's not
then,
be provocative.
lastly, I'll also like to request all of us to exhibit good morals. Let's not have abusive language when we are canvassing for votes, because remember we are mothers, and the Uganda of today is looking at all of us. So let's have a peaceful conclusion of our campaign. And at the end of the day, I am here to request the people of Serere out there that this time round, don't exchange your vote for money. 2,000 shillings is not going to change your livelihood. Kindly, please, my people of Serere, utilize your vote accordingly. Choose the right leaders who are going to drive Serere for the next 5 years. Kindly, please, the people of Serere. Kindly, please, the people of Serere.
Summaries.
May you look into the issue of looking at how we can all put our hands for Serere and improve Serere as a community. My symbol is a pot, and you know what a pot is capable of. A pot is a very humble symbol in our homesteads. All of us use pots for storage of water, and water is life. I want to thank you once again, and we bless God for this day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We are almost coming, but wait. there is going to be the big announcement to be made by Peterson. I wanted to lastly appreciate the management of Rhino Camp for always being part of these arrangements, giving us this venue, and they are very nice people. In case you are out there and you're coming to Soroti and you need a place to rest, Rhino Camp is welcome to you in the industry of hospitality. You will get comfort. They have all the drinks and other services that the hotel demands. Ladies and gentlemen, it is unfortunate that we did not receive Honorable Abulo Agnes from the Democratic Front Party, whom we invited, and I hope that she has been watching and enjoying this debate. We also did not have the Honorable Helena Doa, and we have just received the communication that she was unable to attend because she had unavoidable circumstances that made her not to come. We take it in good faith, but we hope that in the continuous engagement of this kind, they will attend. I want to wish all of you a peaceful election, but success to all of you. I know after politics, we shall still have life moving on. What is important is to coexist, and that's why, as the media fraternity of TESO, we call for peace. Nothing but peace in this election. Peterson, the next announcement.
Thank you. We shall have a group photo, dear candidates, and the next debate will be Gweri County, and it will be on Friday. Gweri County will be on Friday. Thank you so much. Candidates, we can have a group photo and we call it a day. And MC?
Well, thank you very much to those of you who managed to come through to attend this debate. And remember, today we had 5 candidates attending the debate. One of them was Kiteng Deborah of FDC, Ichulet Sandra Noop, Apollo Susan Independent, Margaret Roy Matumo Paul Independent, Achome Salus Independent. Well, we also want to urge you, our audience, to download the One No Africa app. It's an app that champions African content and publications. You can go to Google Play Store and download it and enjoy your browsing experience with One No app. We appreciate you so much, the audience that managed to come through today, the media fraternity that was here. We appreciate you so much. And let's meet again on Friday for another exciting debate, as we'll be having candidates from Gweri County. Good evening and good night. Thank you very much.